Let's discuss the U.S. strategy involving Iran and the Middle East with Kiron Skinner, Fox News foreign policy contributor and former director of office policy planning at the State Department. Kiron, great to see you. Secretary Pompeo laying out the case there, swift, decisive action. But the question now is what's next?
We have been using a maximum pressure campaign during the Trump administration, focusing on Iran's oil and attempting to bring down the oil trade with a host of countries like China, Russia, India to zero. That hasn't worked completely, but it's had a huge impact, the U.S. sanctions on the Iranian economy. And that's part of the reason that I think the country is striking out, the leadership in particular. But now we need a maximum diplomacy campaign, because as I listened today at both domestic and international critics, there is an acceptance that the U.S. leaders must be correct that a threat was imminent. But what happens beyond that? How do we persuade our international partners, our allies, and other friends that they must join us in potential kinetic activity against Iran? That's a big question. And for Americans, many of them are hearing about Soleimani, the PMF, various acronyms, Kataib Hezbollah, for the first time in a concentrated way among American leaders. That means that we've got a lot of explaining to do to Americans, not just our congressional members, but the American public, that we're in a long war with Iran. This has been going on for 40 years.
Well, some would say, diplomacy would be nice, and it certainly can be a long-term objective, but that it's a little too late for that now, as the Iranians are sitting back and mulling over their side of the strategy. What if they strike back?
If they strike back, we strike back. And the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense have made it clear that our measures are defensive in nature. But even though we're defending our interest, our people, and the president has drawn a red line that he's honoring about American loss of life, we can't do this alone. And we need Israel, and Israel is a firm partner in the region, but we need our European allies. We need others. We need all of those who are actually suffering under Iranian menacing, which is taking place in the Western Hemisphere, all throughout the greater Middle East, South Asia, Afghanistan. And we've got to bring enough leaders and people along with us, and let the people also in Iran know, and Iraq, that we're not the enemy. We've got to win the narrative in order to win this fight.
Kiron, thank you so much for your insight tonight.
Thank you.